Good morning, YouTubers. It's Sharon from Blessed to Craft Designs, and I'm here today to show you. I'm going to do a tutorial on this wreath. It is my braided burlap wreath, and I have done one of these before. I think I've even shown you how to do one before, but this was a new request that I had to add this tiger bodice or face onto a wreath. So I'm going to show you how I made this. It is heavy. I'm going to tell you that much right now. It's heavy. So I'm going to show you how to add this onto a wreath. I had quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to do that. But if you keep watching, I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful burlap braid wreath with an added tiger bodice or face on there. So keep watching. Okay, everybody, so I'm back. So let's get started learning how to make this burlap braid wreath that I just showed you. So first thing I'm going to do is show you, as always, the supplies, and I'm gonna hopefully I can remember to put all the supplies down in the box down below. But you're gonna need a foam wreath, and you can get this from any craft store. This one is a 16-inch. I do believe I got this one from Hobby Lobby, but it doesn't have to be green. The one that I showed you, the picture that I showed you a minute ago, that one was actually done on white because you're gonna cover this. You also need some kind of burlap to cover the foam. And this one, if you wait every other week, Hobby Lobby has all of their Deco mesh and burlap and everything for 50% off. So if you wait or you go at that time, then you can get this for about $3. Okay, and there's not a barcode or anything on that. This is one I had left over from the other one, so I'm gonna start with this one. You will also need, I had to buy a whole new pack of this, but it's your floral pins. All right, there's a number right there. I don't know if that's the code. This is a value pack. It's $4.99. And these are the U pins. And I prefer these because I think they just hold everything down a little bit better than just the regular stick pins. But that's a personal preference. You will need scissors. Of course, mesh. This mesh I actually purchased from Craft Outlet online. There's the barcode right there. You see this is a faux burlap. The other one that I did was the orange, and this is just it's a very soft, tightly woven burlap, and I like this. And then what I use in the brown, this is a blended burlap fabric. Again, I got it from the same place online, and there's the barcode right there. And what you're going to do, I'm going to show you in a minute. You've got to make almost a gazillion of these little squares. Now, I have made it with this, and these are this is 5 by 5 by 15 feet. And all you would do is that you would just cut this, if you decided to use this roll, just cut them in 5 by 5 inch squares. But this one, I believe I've been cutting these in 4.5, but you're going to need a ton of these, a lot. I used and this was the roll that I started with to make the other one, and this is all that I have left over from cutting this, and then, cutting this in 4.5 inch squares. So you're going to need that. You're going to need, of course, scissors. I have my cutter here and my roller, and as you can see, it's gotten quite a bit of work on that, cutting that. And last but not least, any ribbon. This is a ribbon that I used from the last one, and you can get this anywhere. I don't even know where I purchased this from. I think I got it online too. I think I got most of this stuff from Craft Outlet. And this one, I don't know if I'm going to use it. I thought it would match, but now that I looked at it, it doesn't look like it will. So I might just go back to my black and brown chevron. But there's the barcode right there if you want to get that one. It's still pretty. I may use it for something else with fall coming up. Haven't decided yet. Okay, and here is my tiger head. This one is white and black. I'm going to take it out in just a minute. The one I showed you was this one. And I purchased this from eBay. I believe I got it from eBay. But this is the customer wanted the orange and white one, the orange and black, excuse me. And then this pretty white and black one, and then it's gonna go with that. So this is what the customer wanted, so I try to make, you know, exactly what they want. It has the prettiest blue eyes. I'm pretty sure my light is not showing you just how pretty those blue eyes are on here. So I'm gonna set this aside because I don't want it to get messed up, and I'm gonna show you at the end everything that I had to do to get that tiger head. So that's really what I want you to see, is me putting that on there. But as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and prep my foam. And I may fast forward through some of this so it just doesn't become extremely long. You know, get your floor pins already ready because you're going to need a lot of those. And just start anywhere on the back. What would be your back side of your foam. All right, and secure this down, and all you're going to do is wrap it. And I don't worry about it being wrapped pretty. That's not a real concern for me because you're not going to see this. You know, the back of the wreath is going to be up against the wall or a door or something like that. So, you know, it doesn't have to be all nice and pretty and everything. I just don't want that green to be so, you know, prevalent. I just want to cover mine. And you don't even have to cover it in burlap. If you decided that you wanted to cover it in the ribbon or cover it in some other material, you know, whatever you think will coordinate with your wreath, then go for it. All right. And I'm going to tack this down. Again, I'm not too worried about this showing because this is going to be my front. But this is going to be covered up. So alright, and with my other one, we will start this one off. Start this where we left off. Do it back here. And one thing about the this woven burlap, the one that's a little bit tighter, is that when you start putting your braids on there, I had to use the handle of my scissors to kind of like as a hammer to just lightly tap those pins down because it can get kind of hard to press those pins down. My thumb, after a while right there, it was sore for a little while for me just trying to press all that stuff, press those pins down in between there. Okay, so this is going to be the end. Let's cut this. And I do try to pull it a little taut. So let's get it like that, and then we're going to pin this down. All right, and be generous with your pins because you don't want anything to come up. And if you don't have pins, or if you don't want to use pins, you can always use your handy dandy hot glue gun. I will use this in the end when I get ready to put the tiger, the head down on there. I will come back and use that. Okay, so we have this covered, and again, this is going to be the back of my wreath, so I'm not really concerned with, you know, the fact that you can see the pins and everything. That's okay, because that's going to be the back. And even on the front, I'm not concerned very much because this is going to be covered as well. All the outside, the middle part, and this inner part is going to be covered, okay? So let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to show you how I cut this. I'm going to make sure I have the right size. Okay, so this is about, I'm trying to make sure I measured according to what I had the last time. So there are going to be about 4.5. I don't know, you probably can't really see that, but it's going to be 4.5 going straight across. Okay. Okay, so this is, and I'm gonna tell you right now, my squares are not ever exact. Okay, they're as close to it sometimes as I can get it. Some of them may be a little off, and then some of them are right on target. Okay, so I'm gonna show you that again, and I use my scissors because sometimes this blade probably needs to be replaced. Okay, so these are about 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares. All right, give or take a little. There might be some that go up to you know, maybe 5, but for the most part they're around the same size. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut out, like I said, a bunch of these, and then you're going to do the exact same thing with the other color that you have. So I'm gonna shut the video down for now and go make some more of these, and then I'll come back in just a few minutes. Okay, so I'm finishing up making my squares, and I'm just gonna do one more really quick. And I don't have the gift of cutting straight. Even on the mat with everything, I still don't cut straight. But alright, so then I cut these. So again, I have my 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares, and I'm going to show you. I don't cut as many of this color as I do the brown, because this is what I use. This is more like the accent color. Okay, so this is my stack right now of what I've done in this is kind of a brick color, brick red, or maybe even a rust color. All right, so this is all that I've done in those, and you see I have quite a bit left on this roll right here. I don't know if you can see that really good because of the lighting, but I have quite a bit of that left. And this is my stack of the brown, and more than likely this will not be enough, but this is what I'm going to start with for now. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff out of the way. so I can go ahead and get started making my wreath. Alright, so bring your wreath form in. Again, go ahead and pour out your pins because you're going to need a lot of these. Okay. And I like to start with the outside. It might be a personal preference. I don't know. But I don't even think it matters. But, okay, so let me show you. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Let's start this again. Okay, so from triangle to from one end to one end, they should meet. And then you have a triangle, okay? All you do is you take one end and bring that to the middle. Take the other end and make it meet in the middle like that. That is a braid. Now you can decide how big you want this little loop right here. Excuse me. If you want it smaller, you just bring this in a little bit tighter. People aren't going to be able to see that. That's going to be covered. Okay, this part right here. Or if you want to make it larger, you just span it out a little bit. Okay, but I try to make them kind of meet. They won't all be exact. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But if you want to measure it and do everything, you can. Or if you want to take like a pencil or stick your finger in there so that all of them are the same size, then you can do that. Okay, I prefer to go ahead and put my pin in, and I always put it across where it's got a little bit of each one, and then just decide where you want to start and press it in. Okay, same thing. Take your square, one end to the other end, and you're gonna have all these little fraying and everything. There's stuff that you can buy to do that, but I try not to manipulate it too much. That will make it fray more if you manipulate it a whole lot. Okay, and then stick it through there. And because this burlap is tightly woven, it is a little bit harder to get through. That's why I did leave my scissors out here, because again, I use this sometimes to tap if I can't push it through with just my hand. Okay, so right here I want to cover that up. So I usually take the prongs to my next one and put it just underneath there. Okay, and then press this one down. Okay, and this is going to start forming your layer. Now you can lay these as far apart as you like. You can put them as close together. If you put them close together, you will have to use more of these braids. Okay, so do keep that in mind when you're making this. All right, and I apologize for my camera shaking too. I'm gonna lean this up and get something else. Okay, and sometimes it's easy to go in to the foam and sometimes it's not. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna do maybe a couple more. And see, this one is not exactly 4.5 by 4.5, but that's okay, because the only part that you're really going to see is this part right here. It's a little off right there, but that's okay. That will be towards the back. All right, so press your pin down. Get it in the right spot. And then press down. And I have seen some people put a little bit of hot glue on there. That will kind of help press it down. Usually once I start getting around the wreath and it's being pressed down like that, that will kind of make the burlap press down a little bit more also. So I'm going to do a couple more of these, and then I'm going to finish it all the way around, and I'll come back and show you how I do the middle section. Okay, because I have a little pattern that I use for that. You can see these are kind of tough to go through there. Alright, and I try to line them up as best as I can so that, you know, the whole, that little hole right there, they're all in the same spot. This wreath, when I think about the other wreaths, like the Deco mesh wreaths that I do, this one is more time consuming, of course. It's a considerable amount more time as far as your prep time, because you have to sit here and, you know, you cut all these out. Once you cut everything, then, you know, to actually put the braid, so, and, you know, to do this part right here. So this is more time consuming than all of my Deco mesh wreaths. Most of the Deco mesh wreaths that I do, maybe 45 minutes. That does not necessarily include prep time. You know, it usually takes me about maybe 20 minutes if I'm cutting my Deco mesh, and those kind of loops might take me about 15-20 minutes to do that, and then actually to put everything on the wreath, maybe another 30-45 minutes. So those wreaths don't take as long, but this one is going to take you a little bit of time to do. Okay, so it's not something, it's not going to be a rush job. All right, so there's that. You can see that how that is coming along very nice. It's already starting to look pretty, so you can imagine when this is going all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and do the outside, and then I'll come back and let you see that. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I have finished the first row of the braid. Let me put it this way. And as you can see, not all of my braids are equal. I might have to put another pin right there to straighten that out a little bit. But this is what it looks like all on the outside. And you remember the huge stack of burlap that I have? This is all that I have left of that. So again, it takes quite a bit of these, all right? So just, you got to have a lot of patience with this. I'm not worried about all these little fray lines right here, these things. I will cut all of those off once I get done with it. I'm not going to do it now because I'm still handling it, and that causes to fray a little bit more. So this is the back, because you can see the pins. And I very well even couldn't make that the front. That way I can hide that, but I'm okay with that. It's people really won't be looking at the outside of it. I mean the back of it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the inner part. I'm going to show you how I do that. And I use a pattern for this. Okay, so I probably will have enough to do the pattern with this. But I'm pretty sure in order to do the inside, I'm going to have to do some more. So to do my pattern, I just start and I make sure I am going the right way. Am I going the right way? Okay, so okay, so maybe this is the back part. All right. So you put that down, and I try to put it down in the middle. I do one brown, and then I will do 3 of whatever color that I'm going to use. You don't have to do 3. You can do your own design. You can make it however you want. But that's just kind of a personal preference. You do have to be careful with this woven burlap, because it will snag really easy, but it's the exact same concept that I did with the other ones. Okay, and this really is, I love the way this puts the color in there with the burlap. It really is pretty. So same thing, just punch your pin through and then place this down. Okay, and you will kind of have to start turning these at an angle a little bit to make sure that they curve along with your wreath. Okay. And this fabric, this is a lot softer than just regular burlap. Okay, this is woven, but I'm sure you can buy the same brown, maybe in colors where it's a little bit stiffer than this. And so see, you have to be careful because it will snag, unfortunately. Okay. And my prongs, they turn. These are all the things that you kind of have to deal with because when it gets thick like that and you're placing one on top of the other, it gets hard for those prongs to go through all of those layers of fabric and everything. Okay. All right, punch it through there. Just overlap it a little bit. Try to press it down as straight as you possibly can. If you need a little bit of help, get your scissors. Okay. Or even if you have a hammer, and press that down in there. Sometimes you need the help. You might just not have enough strength in your fingers to do that. Okay, so there's that, and I'll do one more. That way you can really see how that pattern just kind of comes to life. Okay, so punch this through. And I think this is where you have most of the hardest part, trying to get this. The burlap, in some ways, it's pretty easy to go down in there. But I don't know why when it's this woven, this fabric, that one came straight out. Alright, so let's put that back down in there. And there, see it crinkled up again. Let's straighten that out. Okay, so there's that, and let's do two more of the red, or the kind of rust color, and then I'll do one more brown, and you'll be able to see how that pattern is coming along. And then I'll go finish. Why I'm having so many problems getting this to go down now. I don't normally have these type of problems getting this to go in. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more this color, and then we'll do one more brown. And you see how that's coming along? I know one issue is again with the fabric, it snags. So see how when I push that down, it actually snagged that. But that's okay, it's kind of covered up. But you can see how that pattern is going to be one brown with the three of the kind of rust brick colors, and then another brown. And you can do this just the opposite. You could do 3 burlap and then one of the rust. So it's just kind of however you want to do it, but make sure you're going in the same direction, okay? That all of these little holes right here, they're going the exact same way. All right, so I'm going to finish doing my pattern, and then I will come back and show you the middle part. Okay, everybody, I'm back for just one moment. I'm not going to finish this today because I'm going to go buy a different ribbon, I think, that that might match a little bit better with this. So I'm undecided about that. But what I'm going to do and what I want to show you is how I am going to attach this the face of the tiger onto the wreath. So I'm just preparing it because it's going to need to sit. I don't want to, you know, prepare this and then directly, you know, go ahead and put it on there. I want it to actually sit. So what I used on the other one is this Floral Wire, and it is the 18 gauge. I wanted one that's kind of thick and sturdy. I used 2 of these. You can use more because this, I mean, it's not that heavy. I mean, it does have a little bit of weight on it, but once you put this on the wreath, it weighs down the wreath quite a bit. And remember, we're working with foam here, so it's not as sturdy as using a wire frame or a metal frame wreath. So I want to make sure that this is not going to come off. So this is the back, and I take 2 of these. This is, I'm not sure what the name of it. I think people use it to like cross stitch or something like that with, and it's pretty piece of plastic with all these holes and stuff in it. So I just cut a square of that, and then I'm going to get about 2 or 3 of these floral pins, the U-shaped floral pins, and I'm going to stick these. It takes a little bit of work to do this. I'm going to stick these down in there, and I want to try to make sure I get them spaced evenly apart. You also need your glue gun, okay? So what I do is I thread one of these wires under, and I do try to get it in the middle. I thread one under like that, okay, and it's gonna have to be flat. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. This is gonna be the part that's sticking up towards you. So this is gonna have to flatten out, and I try to have an even amount of this on both sides. And then I'm going to take the other one and thread this one over. Okay, so just find the last one on that side. And I don't really care if they crisscross or anything like that. I just want to make sure one is under and one is over. Okay. So alright, so this is what you're going to have. Alright, this is my little contraption that I came up with, and somebody might know a better way to do this. I don't know. This is all that I could figure out how to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue this down. You need to try to make these prongs stick up as straight as possible. Okay, and that can be maneuvered a little bit once you glue it down. We're going to glue it down all the sides first, then I'll try to straighten these out. Because what you're going to do is these 2 green, this wire, we're going to use that to wrap around the foam, the wreath frame, and secure it down. So let me see if my glue gun is ready. And I try to put it in the middle possible. And there is that little hole there, like if you're going to nail it on the wall, you might be able to use that to help secure it down. But like I said, this is what I did to the last one, and so far so good. She hasn't told me that it came loose yet. Alright, so I start with the corners. Okay, I'm going to hold it up and kind of try to let you see it. Okay, so what I'll do is I just start with the corner. I'll get in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm trying to hold this down. Alright. So we will do each corner first. And like I said, you kind of have to hold this down so the glue will adhere. Okay, so hold it down for a few minutes. And then I will wind up going all the way around the frame. Okay, because I want to make sure again that this does not come off. So yeah, I might be going a little overboard, but I think in the end it will be well worth it. So here we press this down and hot glue all the way around on the ends. And I do go over the green wire. Okay, go over the green wire because we want that to be hot glued. Also, we want that secured. Okay, and then come on this side and hot glue this side down. Alright, so we'll hold that down for a few minutes. Make sure that's secure. And then we're going to hot glue some more down in the middle part. Okay, let me see if that's ready for me to let it go yet. Okay, so it's still a little wet, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to straighten up these prongs. And as I straighten them up, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue there. To try to hold this upright if possible. The last time I had a little difficulty doing this. I don't know why. It just does not want to stay up straight, but I'm going to try to hold it for a few minutes. Work some of that glue down. Okay. I guess you just really have to sit here and hold it. Now when I get ready to put this on there, what I will do is I use my hot glue again, and I put hot glue on the ends of the prongs. I put hot glue on the end of the prongs. I'll put hot glue all over the back of here again, and then press it down on the wreath. Might be overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, so I got that one to kind of stay a little bit. Let me see if I can hot glue this one so it will stay. And this one is moving, so I'm going to try to hold both of these in place. It would help if my hand was a little steady, but Okay. Just stay right there. And you can imagine if you use one of the stick pins with this, it would be even harder to get those stick pins to stay upright like that. Okay, so one more. That one is starting to stay by itself now, but these two, just because the glue has not set yet. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue up underneath there to make it come set straight. Okay, but you can see how this is going to look. I was going to try to pull it up closer to you. If I can get this one, I'm still going to pull it up. I'll just have to hold it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hold them a few more minutes, but you can kind of see. I'm sorry. I'm out of range. Okay, but you can see how that's going to look when I'm done. I'll clean up all the little glue strings and everything in just a few minutes. But this is going to wrap around the wreath. It's going to go down. Let me widen my shot again so you can see. Okay, so see how these are going to stick out like that? It's going to stick out just like that. And then I'll hot glue all of that and press it down. But I want to do this ahead of time so that it can really set overnight. And then I'll come back probably tomorrow once I go get the other ribbon. And then finish the rest of it. I don't put this down until after I put my ribbon on. This is the very last piece that I will put down. Okay. But you can see my little contraption that I did. Alright. Lots of hot glue. Maybe I'll leave it sitting like this so I know that those will sit the right way. Alrighty. So I will be back to show you my finished product.